Let's bring in Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan, House Judiciary Committee Chairman. Mr. Chairman, welcome to you. Thanks for joining us as we are continuing to cover this breaking news and the briefing that was just given by the Secret Service director.
Yeah.
What questions do you have?
Well, I mean, I think the first takeaway is he talked about deficiencies. I mean, yeah, the President of the United States got shot in the head. Corey Comparatori lost his life, and 2 other Americans were injured. Of course, there's deficiencies and complacencies, I think is the words that he used. And then he talked about some paradigm shift that's taking place. Well, it seems to me the paradigm shift should have taken place before Sunday, before the attack or the attempted assassination attempt on President Trump down in Palm Beach. So I don't know if there's a whole lot of confidence here in what's going now. The agents, the president is right, I think, to commend the agents who have been working hard for him. We understand that. But like so many of these agencies in D.C., it's not the guys on the ground, it's the people at the top of the problem. And speaking of the people at the top, where's Mayorkas? We haven't heard, I don't think we've heard one word from him since the attempted assassination attempt on President Trump this past weekend. Where's he? After all, Secret Service is part of Homeland Security. What is this guy doing? So I think there are all those questions. Let's hope that this task force, which I think, God bless the Speaker for putting it together, the task force here in the House, who some of those members are going to be on with Shannon on Sunday. Let's hope this task force gets to the bottom of everything. I think they will.
On the subject, Congressman, of where's Mayorkas, your colleague in the Senate, Richard Blumenthal, Democrat from Connecticut, is really, really hot about the fact that he feels like DHS is stonewalling the Senate investigation. Yeah. I'm sure that the House investigation feels the same way. And to your point, why hasn't Mayorkas come out and said boo about this? And why isn't DHS readily handing over information to these investigative task forces?
Yeah, I don't know, but this guy's been a complete failure. It's the border issue, which we all know the concerns there, and then this issue. So I don't know where he's at. The good news is, for once in this town, you actually have bipartisan agreement. We passed legislation today, unanimous on the House floor, not one vote against it, which said, look, let's make sure President Trump has the same kind of enhanced detail and protection that Vice President Harris has. Just good common sense, frankly, should have been done, I think, a while ago. So that's good that that's coming together. I think we're just got to give these task forces a chance to dig in there and get this information. I know what it's like. We've been going after things with whether it's FBI, DOJ, other agencies trying to get information. You got to go hard. Sometimes you got to go to subpoenas. You got to hold people in contempt, I think, to get the facts and the truth for the country.
Well, there's questions over what Congress would be able to approve here, right? You tell me. I mean, the Secret Service director just said the agency needs additional personnel, technical assets, equipment for long-term and immediately. So is there money for this? Is there money for more resources? Is there a willingness to give them more?
Well, I think the first question, I would ask, I guess my guess is you go ask the American people, do you think it's a money problem or a leadership problem? And then what we just talked about with Secretary Mayorkas. I think most Americans probably think it's a leadership problem. I'm willing to look at everything and say, do they need additional equipment, additional assets? I'm willing to look at all that, and I assume the task force is going to do the same. But my initial hunch is, we always hear this. It's always give us more money. I think it's actually the leadership at the top that's probably the primary problem. But I'm willing to look at the facts and see what the task force uncovers.
Hey, Congressman, I want to ask you about just another little piece of news that just crossed. This is totally unrelated to the assassination attempts, but does involve the United States. Apparently, the Israeli Defense Forces, in an airstrike in southern Beirut, took out a fellow by the name of Ibrahim Akil, who was one of the top Hezbollah military leaders. He was also a principal member of Islamic Jihad, which was responsible for the U.S. Embassy bombing in April of 1983, killed 63 people, and as well the Marine barracks bombing 5 months later in October that killed 241 people. So 40 years later, and it wasn't the U.S. that did it, Israel seems to have brought this person to justice.
God bless them. Yeah. God bless Israel. God bless what they're doing. I want Israel to win this conflict. I do not understand this administration and some of the decisions they've made. Some of it makes no sense to me. I mean, you go back to when President Biden does his State of the Union and says we're going to put a temporary pier in Gaza. And I'm thinking, like, isn't it kind of warfare 101? If you want one side to win, you don't give supplies to the other side, and they build this pier. It falls into the Mediterranean. I mean, I've not understood where the administration's been. I want Israel to win. God bless them for what they've done.
All right, Congressman, appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thanks, Congressman.
Thank you.